We're joined now by Amy Altig, the head coach at Delaware, and she'll also be presenting at LaxCon. We'll get into that in just a moment. But Amy, obviously, your first couple seasons have been a little bit, I don't know, all over the place at Delaware. You know, what is the mentality now, year three? Is it a fresh start kind of a feel? Is it sort of get back to what you've been trying to establish now? What is the mindset as you head into this 2022 season for your club?
I'd say it's 100% a fresh start. This team has come in with a fresh mind, and they have decided to really, take the bull by the horns, and they are, working their tails off and getting ready to show what, everything they've got. And we're lucky we had a complete fall, and we're looking forward to a full spring. So really, it's back to like year one mentality for us. So we really can't wait. Our team is really excited to finally have that full season of competition and really show what they are capable of doing.
Yeah, the last couple of years cut short for you guys by COVID, of course. What was the message maybe to start fall for you? Was it, hey, guys, we're going to start from scratch here? Was it, let's move on? Or what is our, try to establish maybe a little bit more of the culture you've been trying to for the last couple seasons?
Yeah, we actually sent the team the energy bus over the summer by John Gordon, and we've kind of taken the mentality of you can only control your circumstances, and we leave the past in the past and we tackle each day as it comes. And I think for us, the message was really it's a fresh start, and it's a brand new opportunity for us to do all the things that we love to do. We get to be on the field together. We get to train together. You guys get to be back in the classroom. I mean, we just approached it from this is a brand new year, and we're open and let's roll, and everybody's getting on the bus. And I think it's one of those things where they've changed their mindset to really embracing every opportunity and just feeling fortunate to have the opportunities that they have. And really buying into that, controlling your circumstances and lifting those up around you. So it's been that sort of message, that sort of fall, but we've definitely pushed them really hard this fall and challenged them to bring their best, and they really answered.
Yeah, what did the group show you? I'm sure some, sort of took some leadership roles on and really taking the handle on this thing. What did they prove to you?
We have a really strong senior class, for as far as leadership goes, and we haven't played a full season in 2 years, so we're definitely, I would say, if we're lacking in anything, it's the experience category, and we talk about it openly as a team, and we push them through practices and put them through as many game-like situations as we can. We utilized every fall ball opportunity we could this fall, and this team really showed up, and thanks to the leadership of the senior class. Everybody followed and everybody jumped on board with those seniors who said, we've got nothing to lose and everything to gain this year. So let's leave it all out on the field. And they've done a heck of a job doing that. And I think we had some really positive results from the fall ball tournaments and games that we played. And I think they really surprised themselves with what they were capable of doing. So it was a lot of fun to kind of watch them come into their own. And I know they're really excited to come into the spring and show everybody else what they've got. But, a lot of credit goes to that senior class and their leadership and their ability to lift up others and hold themselves accountable and push themselves and push everybody else around them. So it's been a lot of fun to sit back and kind of watch that senior class really take the lead.
Absolutely. What do you think you learned from these last couple of years that you can apply to 2022 now, to your team?
Great question.
It's a lot, right?
Yeah, I would say, you never know what tomorrow's going to bring, and to really embrace the moments that you're in. And we've been really intentional in everything we've done this fall with our team, making sure that we're, capitalizing on our time together, and we're learning and we're sharing and we're growing. We're embracing mistakes and really growing with the game as the game continues to change. And I would say for us, the biggest learning thing is just to be in the moment and, don't try to look too far ahead or don't even try and live in the past, but to be in the now.
Yeah, and I'm sure you got a hungry group, right? I mean, you got to get into that CA schedule, start playing some of these teams. I'm sure you're excited about that, after the last couple of years.
You couldn't have said it better. I think we've got some hungry hens on our hands, and they are so excited just for that first competition, really for the first preseason practice, to be honest. And they all went away over break, and I know that they're doing everything in their power to make sure that they come back ready to go. So they're a really lively group that really truly feels that they have a lot to show and a lot to prove, not only within the CAA but within the women's lacrosse community as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, speaking about the lacrosse community, let's get into LaxCon here, and you're going to be presenting here when it all starts up, January 14th through 16th in Baltimore, and your focus is on goaltending. Is that right?
That is correct. Yeah.
What should some people expect from your presentation?
I think one of the biggest things to expect is really how to develop that advanced goalkeeper. You can take the goalkeeping position and make it as easy as you want, or you can make it as challenging as you want. And I think one of the best parts about you know coaching the position and having played the position is that everybody does it differently. So there's really no right or wrong. But my objective is to really challenge people to think outside the box and to really advance their thinking on the position as far as how it's played in between the pipes. I have the honor of coaching with the women's national team and getting to work with goalkeepers like Liz Hogan and Kaylee Waters, Taylor Moreno, Gussie Johns, all those guys who are just absolutely phenomenal. Kind of bringing that mentality into this Lax convention and sharing some of our secrets.
When you look at sort of the spectrum of the most successful goalies there has been over the last few years, of course, we had Megan Taylor winning the Tewaaraton a couple years ago. Then we saw how hot Rachel Hall got at the end of last year, and just the way she's making body saves in there. What is your perspective of Taylor Moreno, of course, as well? You just mentioned her name, too. Just there's some of the ones that stick out the last few years that have really stuck out. For you, what sticks out about the way they play and what's produced so much success for those types of goalies?
I would say it really, if you break down their styles, they're also different.
Yeah.
I think what set Megan Taylor apart was her ability to really be patient for that shot. And she took away a lot of things that a lot of people thought they may have had just by purely being patient and waiting for the shot to get taken. Where, you see Rachel Hall and Taylor Moreno really channeling their inner athleticism and saying, bring it on, I'm going to throw my whole body behind it. So completely different styles of play, all effective in their own right. But one of the most fun things to watch is just them compete, to be honest. I think the biggest thing is their ability to stop the ball. They're not really worried about all the extracurricular stuff that's happening in front of them. They allow their defense to play, and they just end up becoming that last line of defense and holding it down for their teams. You watch Rachel Hall in that championship game, and she was just lights out. And, you watch Taylor Moreno throughout the course of the season, and she's just phenomenal. You watched, Megan Taylor when she played was just absolutely spectacular. And now you got Liz Hogan and Kaylee Waters and those guys just really showing different styles of play, but really exciting styles of play.
I know you'll touch on this for your presentation, but I guess how do you, teach that as a coach? How do you get in there and enhance some of those characteristics?
I think one of the biggest things is keeping it light. Goalkeepers by nature are a little bit more, they're a little bit more mental. They challenge themselves in that mentality piece because we want to be perfectionists at the end of the day. We know that last line of defense is us. And we want to do everything we can to make that stop. So keeping them as light mentally as possible. They all have the tools they need from a physical and an athletic standpoint. So how do we change their mentality and really force them to relax and just operate athletically? And that's probably one of the hardest things, and I think it also helps maintain that consistency piece in the goal cage. Everybody's looking for a great ball stopper. But how do you develop that great ball stopper? And it develops, I think, from the mind first and then translates down to the body.
And it just feels like that position always will breed leadership too. Obviously sometimes there are some cornerstones on defense around them, but at the same time, that's the person that's sort of dictating things on that end.
Yeah, you look at the national team and you've got people like Meg Dowdy, Cookie Carr, Alice Mercer, Emma Trenchard. You go right down the list, like Becca Block. All those guys are absolutely phenomenal defenders, and you put them on an island and they're making great stops. But maybe they get a step, their attacker gets a step on them and they get a shot off. You have to know that person that's behind you is going to make that stop. And I think they have all the faith in the world in the goalies that are there on that national team right now. So how do we teach them? We don't teach them. We just keep motivating and empowering them to make the right move to the ball. and help them think outside the box a little bit with how shooters might be thinking and where the angles are that they could be playing. But, those guys are next level, and they're not looking to be taught. They're looking to kind of think outside the box a little bit and stay as fresh as possible.
A little more creativity and nuance than maybe you might expect, to know about a goalie, right? That's what I'm getting too.
Yeah, it's all about nuances and figuring out, what works for you and then riding that wave. And, I think that's one of the best parts of the goalkeeping position is what works for you might not work for somebody else, but what works for somebody else may not work for you. So that's the best part of the position. Nobody plays it the same way. And, it's really similar to the field, but I think that's what's great about our sport is embracing the differences in how everybody plays, but how effective they are at the same time.
Like I said, Amy Altig will be presenting at LaxCon coming up here in January. Your favorite part of LaxCon? What vibe do you like the most about the weekend?
I mean, how can you not love just like all the different the presenters? It's top-notch coaches. It's really, you want to challenge yourself from the Lax IQ, you can do it. You want to challenge yourself from a specific position, you can do it. You want to learn a little bit more about the history of the game, you can do it. There's so many opportunities to learn and grow at LaxCon, and I think it's one of the best events each year. Yeah,
and you'll be able to see Amy talk about goaltending just like she has. This is just a piece of what you'll learn at LaxCon 2022 coming up in January 14th through the 16th. That's the weekend in Baltimore. Of course, also diving into a bit of Delaware with the head coach here, Amy, as well. Amy, thank you so much for your time and appreciate it. We'll see you in Baltimore in a couple of weeks, all right?
Thank you so much. Have a great holiday.
You too.